What's good, everyone? I'm IAnthonyD. Welcome back to the channel. We have some more Halloween details to go over. This one's a little bit interesting. The source of this actually comes from the Instagram of the senior vice president of Trinkus Films. So this guy is up at the top in terms of rights holders and things like that. And it's cool to see him so vocal with the community and actually being willing to answer some questions. And from his answers alone, I think we get some pretty cool information, and that's what we're going to break down. So if you enjoy horror gameplays and news, subscribe with notifications set to all, and let's do this. Now, I know a good amount of you are a little upset or feel uneasy about Gun Interactive's involvement in this project. Ryan actually talks about this a little bit. When one user says, "Please don't let Gun ruin this. Friday was one thing, but they straight up gave up on Texas," Ryan replies with, "Gun is the financier and support. IAnthonyD is the lead developers and have a track record of supporting games long term. Ghostbusters, Predator, Killer Clowns. Making sure this was a long-term, well-rounded game, including robust single player, was a threshold matter for us." I think it's extremely cool, one, to see that they actually care enough to make sure that they come to IAnthonyD like, hey, single player is something that's really needed in these games. Offline content is very needed in these games. I think it's cool to see a license speaking like this. I think most licenses are just typically happy with the paycheck and the money that comes from these games, but having some standards is pretty cool to see. Like we said before in our previous videos, and Ryan kind of confirms here, Gun is really just here to help IAnthonyD cross the finish line and get this game to market. It seems like they're going to play the wallet role and pay for things, as well as maybe marketing and even maybe putting together some sort of collector's edition. They did this with Layers of Fear, so they're not out of their realm here. On the topic of Gun, another user says, "Looks awesome. I just hope Gun doesn't gut the game after 2 years like how they did with TCM. Gun is not the main developer of the game. IAnthonyD is. They have supported long-term development on games like Predator and Killer Clowns. This game will be far more robust than F13 and TCM. This was a threshold matter for us." Again, he's just doubling down on this. One, I think it's kind of cool that he knows about Friday the 13th and TCM and even Killer Clowns and all that stuff. He does also mention that this game will be more robust than F13 and TCM. So it really seems like they're shooting for the stars here and trying to cover all their bases and build something that's big enough to withstand the Halloween IP, which is arguably one of the biggest IPs, if not the biggest. Ryan does provide another look at Nick Castle doing mocap. Again, I think this is so cool. Really happy for him. Now, another common concern in these games is when you have the ability to fight back against the killer, you tend to run into bully squads. You tend to run into balance issues. We've seen it in TCM with the backstabs and the door slams. We've seen it in F13 where you ganged up on Jason. We later had to get a rage update. They do talk about fighting here a little bit, with one user saying, "Please don't let Michael get bullied in this game. He's an unstoppable force. In F13, it got to the point that Jason was simply bullied, not feared or a threat. Please don't let this happen to Michael." Ryan simply replying, "You do not have to worry about this." I don't know how the combat's going to look in this game. Is it going to be similar to F13? We do know that there's bats and household weapons, but are we able to grab that, run around, hit on Michael, run away, come back, fight again? Or is it going to be similar to TCM where these weapons, we can find them across the map, but they have one-time uses? I don't know how that looks if you run up and you hit Michael and then the bat instantly breaks, or you have to drop it and find another weapon. Now, on the topic of other licenses and other movies getting DLC content for this game, with one user saying, "This looks absolutely and utterly and totally fantastic. Will there be extensions of the sequels in the future DLCs?" Ryan saying, no comment. Now, I don't know if this is supposed to be cheeky and maybe he's just playing around a little bit here. I'm sure these conversations are happening, I hope. Or if this is meant to take a little bit more serious, where he's just saying no comment, there's nothing to say on that. I'll leave that up to you guys. Hopefully that's something that happens in the future and we can see these other iconic Michaels in the game. Another user asked, "Will it still have a I have to escape type gameplay where we can actually escape and get away? Or will we only be able to fight him off and stop him?" Ryan replies with, "You will get both, ability to fight and also escape and help others escape." Now, something we haven't talked about much is we don't have too much information on how you actually escape. We know the objective is to warn the town that Michael's here, arm them, hunt him down, maybe beat him up, but we can't kill Michael. So outside of that, how do you actually escape? Is it something along the lines of once you've repaired some sort of phone fuse, you can call the police, and while the police will then help the current players in the match, you have the ability to leave? I'm interested to see how that goes. And lastly, another user says, is this gonna have a straight up story mode like a campaign where we can go around free roaming the map with full exploration, cutscenes, dialogue, objectives to go to complete each mission? Or is it just mission based like Friday the 13th, the game? Ryan replies with a straight up story mode, offline bots, and a long-term plan for game post-release. I gotta be honest, I absolutely love multiplayer, I absolutely love single player. We do both here on the content. I'll play Outlast and have a blast, and then I'll play Outlast Trials and have a blast. But the more we hear about this single player mode in this game, it gets me more and more excited, y'all. Reaching out to a third-party developer to create the story mode and then getting writers to write the story mode, it's just, I don't know, I'm excited. And I'm happy that like Halloween is getting some special treatment. I think this game has so much potential. All these games do, truly. And I hope that Halloween is able to live up to the hype. I know it's a hard thing to do, and asymmetrical just seems to have like this black negative cloud over every game, and just it's a weird space. I just hope that Halloween is different, truly. As always, I want to know what you guys think down below. Comment and let's talk about it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to slash that like button, subscribe and notifications, join Slasher Gang, and always remember the rules to survive. Don't do drugs, don't have sex, and oh yeah, don't die.
Everybody dies. Everybody dies. These days, there are certain rules. Everybody dies. Everybody dies. You gotta have a secret. You can never have sex. Everybody dies. Everybody dies. These days, you never drink or do drugs. Everybody dies. Everybody dies. You gotta have a secret.